Welcome to Rebuilding Family Foundation, where we learn knowledge, skill, techniques, and concepts which can help you to grow yourself, to grow your family, and to grow your relationship. This program comes to you each and every Friday from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. East Africa time. Welcome once more and join us today as we learn great things about life success. Our guests today includes Brian Bolo, Moses Bolo, Ann Bolo, and my queen Selesa Bolo. Welcome and let's enjoy this episode. Welcome. This is Rebuilding Family Foundation coming all the way from Kenya, Nairobi. I'm happy once more for all of you who have been waiting for episode 2 of domestic safety. Kindly, if you can get my transmission, you can get my signal. Invite your friend, tell him we have just started. Let him get tuned because today we are going to learn more about how we can make our life, our home, as safe as possible. Kindly, as I bring this song for us, if you can hear me, kindly just write a comment. I can hear you and give us the location from where you are. This in the morning from where you are, afternoon, or this evening if you are in East Africa at this particular moment and time. Kindly invite someone, and don't forget, if you're getting us through YouTube channel, subscribe to our channel, like it, and send us a comment, or on our Facebook page, Collins Bolo, or you can also join us on our YouTube page, Rebuilding Family Foundation. Welcome, invite a friend, settle, as we're going to learn great things this day.
Hallelujah. Can I hear a Holy Ghost crazy noise for Jesus? Come on. Raise your hands for Jesus and clap for him.
Yeah, welcome back once more. This is Rebuilding Family Foundation. Every Friday from 9 to 10 p.m. East African time, we exist to make sure that you get something good, something of value, which can make your home, your life, your marriage, and your relationship with other people even to become better. None other than Collins Bolo will be your host today, as we are going to have the other Bolos coming on board to become such a great inspiration with the information they're going to release to us. And I'm very happy and very excited. This program exists, family, to give us tips, wisdom, and concept on how we can make our life better in different ways. And I'm very happy for you being among us today. Last Friday, we started the first episode on domestic safety. Most of our homes in Kenya are surrounded with burglar proof doors, windows, to the point whereby we make them to be seen as beautiful as possible. People come to our country, when they see it, they really wonder, what's up? Why are people putting burglar proof on their doors and their windows? It's all about safety. But the big question is this: as safety is being kept from outside invaders, is our home safe? Is your home safe? Are things happening within your home safe? Do you have right information which will keep everything and every aspect of your life and your children and other people living within your home to feel safe? That's why today we are going to bring up different experts in different area, and they're going to give us concepts which are going to help us as far as safety is concerned and our home is concerned. So with the guests we have today, we have several guests who are joining us today, who are going to speak to us today. And as I introduce them, I'd like to appreciate Esondege, who is saying, I'm tuned. If you can, thank you, Esondege, who is tuned actually in this program. If you are there, you can listen to us, you can hear us. Just send a comment and remember to subscribe to our channel. Who are the guests for us today? Then we have several guests who are going to join us today, male and female, so that we can learn more about safety. Our first guest whom I'm introducing is none other than Moses Bolo, who was together with us on our last episode, and today is in his full gear as far as safety is concerned. Karibu sana, Moses Bolo.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, really appreciate.
Thank you.
Yeah, the next guest who is going to join us today is none other than Brian Bolo. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Hi, everyone. Nice connecting with you this evening. And
Yeah,
thank you
it's
so
good.
much, Reverend Collins.
There's someone who has been confusing between both of us. Today, we'll be having privilege to see both of us and actually distinguish between the two. Yes, we have another lady in the house who also will be sharing with us on issues to do with safety. It's none other than Celesa Bolo. Where are you?
Hi.
Hi, karibu sana. I'm very happy to see you on board. There's no lady who is joining us. I think right now she's putting a gas even to join us in the studio. Maybe before we proceed, it will be important for you guys to talk about, just to introduce yourself and basically what you do, so that as we continue, people won't just be seeing the names of Bolo, but will see actually you are an authority in the area and the field of your experience and expertise. Whom should we start with? Ladies first or men before?
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the
First, ladies
international
first.
style, I guess.
Madam Celesa Bolo, kindly introduce yourself, what you do, even
Thank you
before.
so much.
Yes.
As you can see, I'm Celesa. I am a nurse by profession, nurse educator, and also a mentor to many nurses. And I appreciate the time that I'm here. I also have my YouTube channel, Celesa Mary, where I help to educate people on issues to do with health. So I'm so glad to be here today to share how we can be safe at home so that we avoid accidents and even deaths in our domestic or in our home areas.
Thank you very much, Celesa. Let me get to Moses Bolo to introduce himself and also his expertise.
Hey, thank you so much, Collins, for this program today. My name is Moses Bolo. I'm a health and safety specialist with more than 10 years. I'm registered in both in Kenya and the UK. Today, I'm going to discuss with you various aspect of safety. So keep there, stay there, and you'll gain more about domestic safety. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we are coming to Brian Bolo. Yes, tell us more about yourself. It's your first time in this program, and it's good because these men will hear about you as you introduce yourself.
Yeah, fantastic. Hi, everyone. How is everyone doing? Yeah, as you heard, my name is Brian Bolo, and in the family, I'm the second one, following Reverend. And by profession, or maybe where I started from electronics. I now practice electrical a lot. And besides that, I'm a social media marketer. That's something also that I'm doing. So I do digital marketing. And also I'm into project management and mindset development or life coaching, focusing on mindset empowerment and stuff like that. So it's so nice to be with you guys here. Last week was awesome. I followed, and it's great. Let's see how we're going to jenga each other tonight. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, the other second lady in the house, I'd like to introduce her today. Last week she was to be here, she didn't come, and some people complained so much. Ann Bolo, karibu sana. At least today you have two women in the house.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Sorry, I just got in. Am I supposed to say my name and
yes, and what you do?
Okay.
Yes.
So my name is Ann Bolo. I am a counseling therapist. I'm a life coach and a mediator, and I love doing what I do, helping people get to know who they are, self-awareness, understanding why they reason the way they do, understanding what emotions they're experiencing. Sometimes we're going through emotions and we don't know what it is. So I usually say I'm a compass, all right? You're in a forest. You're trying to find your way to north or south. That journey is yours. I'm just here to help you navigate and redirect you back to where the north direction towards north is. So in a nutshell, that is what I do.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy because today the house is full, so that we can discuss more and more as far as this issue of safety is concerned. Now, last week when we had guests who came in, they talked about different aspects of safety, including how safe are we as far as washing our hands is concerned. And they went further even to discuss how safe are we as far as labeling issues in some of the properties you have in the house, some of the facilities you have in your house, so that there won't be mistaken identity leading to hazard and danger. Even went further, a simple thing as much as going to the loo and you have finished your own thing. Do you know it is safe after you have flushed, you close down the lid so that some bacteria, you won't inhale them and get back out of the toilet with some other conditions. Many more things we learned. Today we are going to add more information from what we learned last week. Home safety. Is your home safe? Now, who are we going to start with today? Let me see. Let me see. Now, Celeste, last time you told us about it's important for us to wash our hands. What's another thing you can add to us today as far as a common thing which can happen in the house and people need to have knowledge so that safety can exist? Let's start with you, Celeste.
Thank you so much. I think one of the things that can be a health safety issue, apart from hands that transmit bacteria, is choking. We normally get a lot of cases of either adults or children who have choked. And majorly you find choking occurs when somebody is eating, So we need to know how safe are we? What do you need to do? Now, number one thing that somebody needs to be cognizant about is that during eating time or feeding time for a child, there has to be a quiet environment. I know the African way, we talk a lot during eating time. And sometimes when you eat food like rice, it has got small pellets, can easily get into the airway. As much as the anatomy of eating food, whenever your esophagus opens and food gets in your airway, you stop breathing for a moment. However, there have been cases where you're talking and you're also and you're also breathing at the same time, as in you are talking and eating at the same time. At that time, in that spur of the moment, food can get into the airway and you can get choked. So what do we tell as healthcare providers? How can you be safe in the domestic area? Number one, when eating time should be really eating time. You only talk when you have swallowed the food. Only talk when you need to talk at the same time. So eat fast, talk when you have swallowed all the food that you are eating, so that you don't talk while you're eating. And number two, how food is prepared also affects. And we always say this. I know we are not Kenyans are lovers of nyama choma and all. Food should be cut into small sizes. I know it looks mean. It looks like you're mchoyo, in quotes, when you have very small chunks, slim pieces of meat cut slenderly. But that is the ideal recommended way. Don't have large chunks of meat or food. Make sure they are chopped in small pieces and well cooked so that they are soft, so that somebody doesn't have to struggle with swallowing. Another thing, make sure that the temperature of the food, the environment that you're eating in, is very safe. So it's very important that we observe that during eating time and how we make the food at the same time, so that in the end, you do not get choked at the same time.
Thank you.
So one of the ways, if I may mention, you need to keep even your house help. And I always say this, safety begins in the house. If you are a working mother, you're never at home. If you are a working father, you have small children, even adults, you need to teach your house manager basics of what to do in case choking happens. So all these things are very important for people to be cognizant, at least have basic knowledge on what to do in case of choking. So there are myths that we could continue talking about of how to handle a choking patient during the time of eating, or how to handle somebody who is already unresponsive, has choked, and all that. So it is very important for us to observe this. It's very important for us to have telephone numbers of ambulances. You need, at least in your phone contact, you should have an ambulance that you can easily call, so that in case of an emergency at home, you can call in, they can respond and take you to the nearest hospital. Because some kind of choking, if it's not relieved at a very fast rate, it can lead to death. You know, let's say if somebody stays without breathing for more than 3 to 5 minutes, then it can now cause serious consequences. So by the time they are arriving in the hospital, they are very sick, you cannot be able to salvage. And they end up to respiratory arrest that at times can lead to death, or can lead to further damage and cause other multiple organ failure, which can be costly at the same time, can be costly in terms of financial, in terms of your quality of life in the end. So very important.
Okay, thank you very much. Issues of choking. Anybody can be choked, a kid can be choked, a mature person can be choked. When Celeste will be back, she'll be helping us. In case it happens, what next do we need to do at home before, as first aid, before even the person who's been choked can get to further help and treatment? Yes, now there are other areas like social media. In our homes today, we buy for our children laptops, phones, and they get into Facebook, they get into different social media. As much as social media is generating millions of shillings and dollars to people who know how to use it very well. But at the same time, social media is becoming a disaster. Today, a client called me and he's in an issue of trouble with his wife, because through one of those social media platforms, he came in contact with some conversation which were not appropriate. And right now, as we are talking, they're almost they're in crisis and probably might be a divorce. Social media, as much as it can make people to earn, can it be extremely dangerous as far as our safety of our relationship is concerned? Brand Bolo, tell us something about it.
And I lost you a bit towards the end.
Yes, yes. I'm saying that as much as social media plays a very key role in building people economically, people earning good money.
Well, I guess we have.
Yes. Then can it be also possible
Yes.
that social media should be an issue of safety for our children and even for the adults today? Have you got
Yes.
me?
Yes.
Yes.
Very true. Yeah. Social media, actually, we all know, and right now we are together because of our social media platform. Social media has brought opportunities as well as threats. There are pros and cons of social media. So we are able to communicate this way and to edify each other, challenge each other, build each other, bond because of social media. We know a few years ago this was not possible. But at the same time, we know that there are threats to our personal lives, threats to our families, threat to the community. So social media creates a community, but at the same time introduces not really new threats. The same threats used to be there, most of them used to be there without social media, but social media kind of escalated these threats or introduced new dimensions of the same kind of threats, plus new ones, actually, new threats as well. And maybe I'm going to mention a few of the threats that have been introduced by the social media. And one of them we know, just like Revan, you just talked about um, a wife finding a lady who found some communication, some improper communication or like kind of a relationship going on, cheating and things like that. So social media actually makes cheating becomes easier than it used to be before. It used to take a lot to connect with people before, but right now it's easier, it's faster, and it can be done secretively. But at the same time, of course, there are risks of being caught and messing up a relationship that you've been building for ages. So that's already one of the challenges that social media has brought, as much as it's an advantage as we're able to communicate. And I think there's this issue of cyberbullying, which has been rampant, and it's not only about kids. I remember one of our friends the other day, I think it's Mr. Dan Mugera. He was talking about an experience of cyberbullying which he experienced online. This is something that can happen to anyone, not just kids. And now that we have our children have access to these gadgets, meaning that they can access the social media platforms from home and from the bedroom secretly, without, sometimes, many times, in fact, without the supervision of the parents. That means that they can be bullied online and get to a place of depression, some even to suicidal thoughts and things like that. So that is quite a big threat and a big problem in today's society. Another negative impact of social media is unhealthy comparison between people, between families, and between individuals. And this does not apply only to children again. This applies even to grown-ups. There are men, there are women who are busy comparing their lives with the lives of other people based on what they see online, of which some of this online life or online show people post or show, they are not really their actual lives. A lot of people, whatever they post on social media or whatever is happening on ground in reality is totally different. But some people take everything that they see on social media to be the real truth, and they get depressed. They get, frustrated because they think that other people are doing well, but they are not doing well. Yeah. Another thing is the issue of privacy. privacy. I remember years ago when we were growing, when we were younger. I know some people in my neighborhood. I didn't even know their houses. I didn't know anything about their houses. Even their bedrooms online. People can post their bedrooms online. People can post a lot of their private lives online. And one of the mistakes people do, married people in relationships, some people, when they go through conflict, family conflict, they post their conflict online, either directly or indirectly. The kind of post someone can put, and this must be something going on in this relationship. So, and then something that was meant to be within the two of you, and you can solve it without the input of other people, now becomes a public affair, which is not a good thing. And our kids, as I said earlier, our kids get exposed to offensive images and messages, and sometimes these messages are not really messages that like on Facebook, they are meant for other people. Some of these messages, they either intentionally or accidentally ended up on our phones through WhatsApp groups. At one time, I remember in one of the groups I was in, someone posted something, and I was using WhatsApp, and I had not set the settings such that images should not be downloaded. And so someone in the group happened to have posted some pornographic images. So later on, at my free time, I was actually going through, not even the WhatsApp, I was going through the images in the memory storage. And in the middle of that, I was dining or something like that, in the middle, relaxed and looking for something, then something popped up like, what's this?
I remember that incident. Yeah, I was in that group
You
too.
remember the incident, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Like, where did this even come from? So I had to check through the groups, and I found where it was coming from. Of course, the person apologized and all that. But I was imagining, what if my kids were going through my phone and this is what popped up? This is what they came across. Of course, I changed
Even
the
your
settings
wife.
at that time.
Yeah.
Or even my wife, yeah.
Yeah, because it was bad
or even
news.
anyone else. Maybe I want to show someone some images of something at work or something like that, and the cause of that, such images pop up. Yeah, it can be quite embarrassing. So yeah, that's one of the the cons. And then there's this stalking and harassment, and especially someone can see a kid or even an adult online, and then he gets to like the person or hate the person, whatever the case may be, and starts stalking the person even in real life. And some cases have gone to a point of even kidnap. So all these things affect the family, whereas before you knew your kid is safe when he is in the house, but right now it's different. Someone can be stalking a family member inside their house, from inside their house, from school. And when our kids use their real names, they post their images and all that, they can meet a stranger who can call your child using his or her real names. In some cases, a child gets kidnapped, someone gets raped and drugged or something like that due to that. And there's the issue of video games. There's some video games which are quite dangerous. And remember, there was this game which came out which was leading to the player or some of the people playing committing suicide at the end of the game or somewhere in the game. So that is also comes through social media also, because they are linked. And so those are some of the threats. They're not all the threats. There's also threats to our finances, actually, through scammers. There's a lot of scamming online nowadays. Yeah, a lot of scamming, and some of them come like very genuine. Some of them happen through genuine people. Actually, a few minutes ago, one of our cousins just posted, by the way, that his Facebook account has been hijacked, and the person who hijacked it is asking for money from people. And the person, the scammer, might end up getting some money. Someone will be quick to send money, And I've had incidences even lately where maybe, actually, at least one case, it was a genuine person who asked for money, but I had to drill the person so much. And the person was offended. But hey,
Yeah.
I can't just send you money because you just sent a message. Hey, I need money, but send me now. This someone is not talked for I don't know how many years. Suddenly someone sends a message like that. And you start drilling the person because it might be a bot behind there. It could be someone hijacked, you know, and things like that. The person gets offended, okay, and all that. It's okay. I mean, I'm trying to safeguard both, but I'm not even sure if it's you, it's the real you that I'm talking to, and all that.
Yeah.
You see, so all those are threats. So you might end up sending money to someone thinking it's an emergency, money that you're not planned for. And you end up not even sending to that person whom you wanted to help. You send to another person altogether. That is if you are able even to send that money. So those are some of the threats. There is more, but that's what I'm going to talk around that.
Thank you very much. Social media is good. It's making people to earn, people connecting, but at the same time, it can be a disaster in your home. Some of these tips you are not aware about. And that's why Rebuilding Family Foundation comes in, so that we can get to learn some tips and take charge by in one way or the other. Yeah, Brian Ball will be coming back to tell us how can we safeguard ourselves on the same, and how can we protect our children from the same vices, because it's extremely, extremely challenging in one way or the other. There was a parent at one point of time being mature and able to make choices. This parent decided that in each and every day in her life she'll be using cocaine. As a mature individual, she had every right to make choices. But at one point of time, while making her choices, she became expectant and she was still using cocaine. Remember this, a young mother using cocaine and expectant at the same time. Then how was the safety of the child within her? The effect of cocaine damaged the growth of the fetus, leading the fetus to be born premature. And not only that, upon the birth of the child, she became blind. The boy became blind and autistic. And later on, they took off and left the kid to be taken to children's home. By the grace of God, some good Samaritan found the boy, raised the boy, and today is growing up to become a great singer. Do we have safety in our homes? Let's hear the story of this young boy and what happened to his life.
Brothers and sisters, we are always courageous, although we know that while we are at home in the body, we are away from the Lord. For we walk by faith, not by sight.
Christopher Duffley was born in May of 2001. He's actually the son of my youngest brother and his girlfriend. And when I received the phone call from my brother, I found out that he was born at only 26 weeks, 1 pound, 12 ounces. So he was very premature and he was in critical condition. And there were several nights that we were told that Christopher wouldn't make it through the night. And at that point, I prayed for Christopher. And I just asked God to be with my brother and to do what his will would be. And for a long time, I had no contact with my brother. Really didn't know what happened to Christopher. And all of a sudden, my heart was moved. Where was my nephew? What happened to him? And on my first phone call to social services, the gentleman knew about Christopher, and he indeed was in foster care. He was totally blind. He had been born with cocaine in his system, and he had a host of other medical issues. My first response to that, or my first feeling to that, was fear. I prayed very intently, and I begged the Lord. I said, could you just show me what you would want? And he did. He answered in my heart. He told me, do not be afraid, that I will take care of everything. We've had challenges and we've had joys. And one of the greatest joys was to hear Christopher make noise, sing, and keep beat. He really didn't talk till about first grade. So when he sang, it was really neat. And it wasn't shortly around that time that we found out that Christopher had perfect pitch. And he started to do remarkable things. And what a joy and what a prophecy that God gave us, that these tears would come, and they come out of great joy. And when Christopher sings, "Open the eyes of my heart," he teaches us to not see everything with our eyes, but to see things the way God sees things, through our heart.
And indeed, I'm singing that today. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. To see you high lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy.
That beautiful song from Christopher. But today is an autistic boy and blind because there was no safety from the mother when she was expectant. These things can happen right from our homes when we make wrong decisions and sometimes out of ignorance. What does this tell us? The choices you make will determine the kind of environment you are going to produce in your own home. Now, last time Moses spoke to us about issues of safety from our home. And I think from this point, just as you have seen, Christopher is a victim of cocaine, which has been used by the mother. Moses, back to you today. What are some other measures we need to know to take at home so that we prevent ourselves and our children from being in danger as we're discussing domestic safety? Karibu.
Thank you so much, Collins and the team. So today, basically, what I want to share with all of us, it's about about lifting proper lifting techniques. Back pain can it's always it's preventable. It occurs, yes, but it's preventable. They are like according to United States Occupational Health and Safety, in workplaces they say over 1 million workers suffer back injuries annually. So, and that's 90% of workers. This means that this can happen even at workplaces. Our backs have 300 muscles, and again, we have at the pelvic area we have got 5 pieces, and we have 24 vertebrae. These are flexible joints which has liquid, fluid-like liquid, which help us, and they act like shock absorbers. So it's very, very important for us to know and to understand what can cause back injuries. And the primary cause of back injuries is lifting, lowering, lifting, pushing, lowering, handling objects. And another one is, of course, you can slip, trip, and fall. Probably the floor is very wet in the house, which can make you slip, trip, or maybe there are cables everywhere hanging around. We call them daisy chains. Make you slip, trip, and fall. Again, if you have, of course, a motor vehicle accident, or you are struck by something which can cause back injuries. You have, again, physical condition. Probably you're overweight, which can put pressure on your back. Again, this can cause back pain and back injuries. Another one is age. Of course, if you are aging, this can cause a back pain at some point. Now, in most of our houses, we have objects. We have things you want to lift, you want to push. So it's very advisable when you're doing that, you should maintain a good posture. Posture is the key. So avoid lowering object very fast, make you lowering very slow. Avoid lifting objects away from your safety zone. Safety zone basically is closer to you. Lift object when everything is closer to you. Avoid lifting things away from your center of gravity. You can lift something which is very light. Let's say something which weighs 5 kgs. But if you lift it properly, it can put at least 40 to 50 kgs on your back if you lift it properly. So lifting is the key. You want to fix the light fixture. You want to fix your bulb. You are lifting yourself up and trying to change a light bulb. Again, if you lift it, if you go up there improperly, in proper posture, again, there's a possibility you might hurt yourself. Now, cumulative, you can have like upper limb disorders. Those who are using computers in the house, if you sit improperly, you can have if your display and your chair does not hold your back very well, there's a possibility that you'll bend as you use your computer, or if your arms are not well placed at the keyboard, you may find that either your keyboard is very low or is very high, and you may have what is called wrist tendonitis, which again, this is painful and it may hurt you so bad. So the most important thing is lifting. When you're lifting that bag from shopping, you came from shopping, you are lifting a bag from your vehicle, or you're lifting a bag from the trolley, or you're lifting the shopping bag, taking it in the storeroom. If you lift him properly, there's a high chance you may hurt yourself. How do you lift? First, use your legs, because the lower part of our bodies, they have more muscles than the upper part of our bodies. And these muscles, they are interconnected. So if you are lifting, make sure that you bend your knees when you go down and lift with your legs. Lift closer to you. Make sure you tighten your stomach muscles. Your stomach muscles is the core. It holds your back. So make sure that you do that, you hold your stomach muscles and do some stretching exercises to loosen up. This is very important. You can do partial sit-ups. You can stretch yourself, at least exercise daily or every other day. It's very important. When you do the exercise, it makes yourself loosen up. So when you're lifting, it can help you prevent your back injury. People have back injuries, many people at workplaces, even in home areas. You talk to your parents, your relatives, a good number, they have back injuries. They feel painful when they wake up. They feel back pain when they're doing different chores. It's because of lifting. 90% is because we're lifting something which might not be actually heavy. Some might be heavy, but under poor and proper posture. Also, repetitive lifting can again, and twisting can cause back injuries. So this is very important to us to understand and to know the proper way you can lift objects, lowering object, and again, if you are moving it from one place to other, you can either use a trolley or some other equipment. It's very, very important. That will protect your back. Yeah, yes. That's what I have to share with you today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Actually, we're having many people today with a lot of back pains. And if you want to know people are suffering back pain, just go to Seragem or Nuga Best Center. Men and women of all ages are all lining up so that they can get back massage therapy. If you go to most of our massage parlor today, we have so many people suffering because of injured back. Some even after delivery, when they have given birth, the first 40 days, which are supposed to be time for rest, they start lifting up objects, leading to long-term condition with their back. And it becomes extremely safe when people get to learn about all this and make their life better. And that's why Rebuilding Family Foundation comes in to educate you, to give you information so that safety can exist within your home after having or upon having right information. As you're starting to conclude, choking. When someone chokes in the house, what do you need to know and do to safeguard the life of that particular individual? This is very key and very, very important. One of our speakers' gadget is really misbehaving, and once the person will be set, I'll be calling her on board. But before that time, back to you, Celesa. In case someone is choking, what needs to be done? Let's come up with a solution to this problem we have addressed.
All right, so when choking, what do you need to do? Number one, we have got different stages, or rather signs and symptoms that you know somebody is choking. If somebody is choking and they're coughing, just know they're safe. So long as they're coughing, if they were choking, they were just eating food together or they swallowed something, but they're coughing, that's a very safe zone. You shouldn't be so worried. You should just stay there, be with that person and assist wherever you can, depending on what they tell you. But there's another stage whereby the person cannot cough. They're holding, there's a universal choking sign. They hold their necks like this. And at that time, some will make a very shrill sound. Some will not hear anything. They just hold their necks. If you are there, ask them, are you choking? Because there have been cases whereby somebody was just holding their neck and rubbing it, and they're quiet. So it could be they're just quiet, there's nothing, but ask them. If you see somebody holding their neck like this, ask them, are you choking? If they nod and say they're choking, you need to take action as soon as possible. Now we have scientifically proven maneuvers that help. Now on simple layman's language, one of the maneuvers that we use, you go behind the person's back and take your hand around them. Make a fist between the belly button and where the diaphragm and where the symphysis, for a better English word, where the ribs end, there is a point at where the ribs end and the belly button. Put your hand and make a thrush, upward thrush. You're exerting pressure on the diaphragm so that anything that is in the airway can be pushed and can come out. So that is one of the way. We call it helmet maneuver. For a small child, you cannot do helmet maneuver. You need to go behind the back and pat, do thrust, using this part of your finger. Very hard thrust. Do like that. Do it 5 times. And if it is something that will easily come up, because it also depends on what they're choking on. I had earlier say that if foods are made in large chunks that you give to a child, or even add as very large pieces of meat, if it's an object that is occluding or blocking the airway, and you give a thrust behind the back, it can easily come out. But there are times whereby, one, they're not coughing, they're not responding, they're putting their hand on the neck, and they've told you they're choking. You have tried doing the thrust, nothing is happening, they're just looking at you. You've tried hitting their backs to see where it comes out, nothing is happening. At that point, just know things are not doing very well. Some patients become even more unresponsive and they become frail and weak. Put them on the floor and now you start chest compressions. Meanwhile, when somebody is in that state, you don't need to handle that person alone. You need to shout for help. Come on, somebody help. Call the Jiranis, the neighborhood. If you're in the street, say somebody help. People can easily come in and call the ambulance. And at that point, that is where I say that it is important that you have at least one number for an ambulance. A medic who is around the neighborhood. That is why we always say, wherever the neighborhood you are in, you need to know people who are around there. Who are the medics there? Who are the people who can help in safety issues and all? And somebody who is well trained. So basic life support can assist at that time. They can do chest compressions as you wait for an ambulance to take that person. So we have had cases whereby simple thrust does not work, the patient is unconscious, unresponsive, and they have to be brought to the hospital, whereby it has to be removed, whatever it is that was choking the patient. Common things that choke us apart from meat, we have also fish bones. We have people talking and eating at the same time. Fish is very dangerous. It can easily cause choke, and with that one you cannot, even if you do thrust, sometimes the spikes have already held part of your mucosa or they've held part of the throat. So whatever you do, it will not come out. So it will just be stuck there. So always observe whoever has told you they're choking, but so long as they are coughing, they are safe. And I always say this, feeding time should be a very sacred time. Eating time, it should be sacred. Why? It should be a time where you chew food slowly. Most people are in a hurry to eat very fast. You don't chew food that's supposed to be chewed so that it can be digested. And as you eat in a hurry, then choking becomes very apparent. You're more likely to choke faster if you're eating food in a hurry, if you're eating and you're talking. So be safe. Always chew food slowly. Eat food that has been cooked properly. Cut food into smaller slices, even meat. If somebody is choking, go behind them if they are an adult, or if they are of an age where you can go behind them. Do a thrust on the abdomen between the belly button and the end of the ribs. If it's not working, they are still not responding, you have been trying, that is a person you should not handle yourself alone. Call for help. And I think Kenyans are very good in responding. Just shout somebody help. Have a phone number of an ambulance, have neighbors whom we know who can assist, then the patient should be rushed to the nearest hospital. Because again, when airway is compromised, you get respiratory distress. And at that time, there has to be a surgical intervention. And I think, Collins, I just want to mention of a case that we had. Actually, some years back, I was called by one of my sisters-in-law. She told me that child was in school and she swallowed a coin. And I asked where. I was told to rush to the hospital. I rushed very fast to that hospital. It took some time because I was on shift at that time. On arrival, the child was talking and crying. But still you find the child was still taken to theater. So we really need to know. At times, we have cases whereby some things are really unnecessary. Could be a coin could occlude, but if somebody is talking and breathing, that is a safe zone. However, you need to be there with the patient for a time until you are really certain that they're in safe hands, that they can be assisted. And eventually the coin was removed in theater. We have instruments in the hospital that can assist to remove things. So we need to be really safe. With children, put them upside down. Just put the head down, a small child, and hit the back. Hit this upper part, hit it very hard. Remember, this is a matter of life and death. Push it, do the thrust, look at them. If you are able to remove whatever you can see, remove. But you should never struggle, because we've also had cases of a doctor that happened some years ago who tried on his own to remove whatever it is that he could see was choking his own child. But the more he kept on removing it, the more it kept on going in. So if you're not an expertise, please do not be a lifesaver, because sometimes your life-saving skills might end up killing the patient. And the baby died eventually because he kept on using his hand to remove the object. As he was trying to remove it, it kept on going in and in, because the airway of children is very small. So we need to be cognizant of the same. So if you don't have the skills, you've used whatever you can, don't handle that patient. Let the expert handle that patient.
Thank you very much. Really great information. For those who are joining us, who are listening, I'm quite sure you're enjoying it. We have someone by the name of Zeddy Paul tuned in all the way from Singapore. Thank you very much, Zeddy Paul, even joining us from Singapore. We have Bwire Peter getting you loud and clear. Thank you, Peter Bwire, a great friend for many years from back in 90s when we were much younger than today. We have also Agri Ogweno, very educative. Thank you for Agri, my brother in diaspora. I really appreciate you joining us even in this episode today. We have someone else, Caroline Nelima Manyonge, all the way from Eldoret, tuned in and enjoying this program this day. A lot of things we are learning today from health sector, from expert in safety as far as object and components around us are concerned, and also from social media. Social media can be good, but also can be an issue of safety for both parents, our brothers, our sisters, and our children. How can we avoid and protect ourselves from danger which comes with social media? Brian, maybe wind up with that for us.
Okay. Hello, everyone, again. And yeah, I'm handling the issue of safety online, and mostly where it pertains to the family setting. And some of the things that you can do to protect yourself and to protect your family, to protect the kids and also the adults, because we know that we adults also have been victims sometimes. And one of the things that you should not do, and you should make sure you tell your kids not to do, is to avoid publishing personal information online. That is due to things like identity theft, and by your identity, your personal information can be used to steal money from your bank account. And in the case of like Kenya, if someone can have access to something like your ID number and one or two other informations, and maybe eventually even your ID copy, someone might be able to steal money from your mobile banking application. Therefore, as much as that is a personal thing, it definitely impacts the family, because we know that the family is made of individuals coming individuals together. Therefore, personal information, including images, be very careful with images. I know we post on Facebook and things like that. That's okay, but for the kids especially, when they start meeting strangers online, and then we should tell them, we should prepare them for this, that they should not share anything that they are not able, or they won't find it right to share on their page, or the parents would be comfortable comfortable to show the parents, to have the parents see anything like that. They should not share with any individual, because even if they trust those individuals, because kids get persuaded to send nude photos and things like that, to do funny things alone. Sometimes they're told they're going to be paid. Sometimes they get bullied to do that. So we should prepare them on how to behave when such things happen. Most of the time, one of the things that they can do is that they should involve you when they communicate with people. There should not be a secret between the kid and some stranger that she met online. Therefore, you should befriend your kids, and to a point that they will be willing to let you know who they're in contact with online. Yes, they should trust you more than they can trust anyone else online. And of course, they should know the do's and don'ts. Discussion about things like sexual matters with strangers online. They should know beforehand that is something that they should not do. They should know how to respond when it comes to that. And it's very important that our children should have a positive or good self-image. They should be confident about themselves, in that to a point that a stranger cannot bully them, harass them about their image or about anything else, to demean them to a point that they can now manipulate them. So there are mindset issues here involved, and we should build a strong mindset on our kids. So encourage them to talk to you, let them not share personal information, including things like location. Yes, they don't have to keep telling everyone online where they are at any given time. They've gone to this place, they're staying late somewhere, and they keep posting, showing their location, because stalkers are able to track them, and in some cases, they are able to physically identify them, get them. In some cases, people have been raped, people have been kidnapped, and things like that. Another thing, one of the things we talked about is the online scam. Therefore, when someone just contacts you, sometimes someone that you know contacts you and is asking for money, or she's asking for money, and the story looks convincing, this person is in problem. Most of the time, your gut will tell you, because if it's someone you've interacted with, this person does not communicate like that. I remember even around, I think last year, one of the people that I knew all the way from high school many years ago, whom we've not talked for like 20 years or something. Yeah. And the last time I tried to say hi to the person, he did not reply. But sometime last year, he just sent me a message directly asking for money. And I knew, obviously, this can't be that person. I know the way the person behaves and things like that. Even if he needed money, he won't just communicate to me like that. I know from the way I know him. And it wasn't that person eventually. His account had been hijacked. Therefore, be very careful. If you suspect there's something wrong, probably there is something wrong. And look at how your kids behave. Like Celesta talked about, when you're eating, not talking and things like that, and also no rushing. And if you see the behavior of your kids has changed, because they won't be using the phone on the table while dining, but this time they have to rush because they have to quickly go online. You have to pull them from online. There's that unusual time the kid is spending online. Be very careful about that. Start watching the behavior. The kid starts secluding herself, and the behavior changes. Something might be wrong, and most of the time there will be some telltale signs that something is not right. When it comes to the issue of games, before you allow a child to be playing these games online, where they play live with other people somewhere else, make sure you learn research as much as you can, as much information as you can about those games. As I said earlier, there's been these games where these games lead to children or to the player doing some things that are not right. It could be the children or the person harming himself or herself, or harming another person, or doing some things that are inappropriate. Another thing that's important also, the settings in the app. It's Facebook, it's YouTube. There are settings inside there. Child safe settings. That's also very important. And also there's a look at the history where the browsing history, for the browsers, search engines, and the applications that they're using, so that you may know what do the kids look at and stuff like that. So familiarize yourself with the games, know the history, know the settings, website settings, child safe settings, as I said, and things like that. So basically, those are some of the things, not everything, but some of the things that you can do to protect your family, to protect, and also have some disciplines. Some things are not actually, they have very little or nothing to do with the website and all that. Have some mechanical practices, habits as a family, because as a family we want to stay together, we want to eat together, bond at that time, as much as we are not supposed to be talking, but we want to be bonding silently, right? So you don't want that when you're enjoying your meal, everyone is busy online. That is not good for the family.
Yeah.
Because unlike our days,
A
remember when
disease.
we were younger, that time was a time, and for many people, a time where the people used to bond at that time.
Yeah.
Maybe people would be watching a TV program at that time, together, and laughing and all that. But right now, people can be, everyone is on his phone or her phone, chatting with other people elsewhere. Somehow social media makes people who are far away to be more important than the person who is next to you. Now, that will, what's going to happen with that? Years later, months later, or years, you are going to find that there's very little memorable time that you had together.
Yes.
And as I said earlier, the issue of families, when you have a conflict with your spouse, when you have family infighting, don't go and post those things on social media. Find a way of solving. If it's necessary that you have to involve another person, know who you want to involve, and because of specific reasons. Maybe it's a counselor, maybe it's someone who can come in and advise you, whatever. But otherwise, don't go and post your fights online. Yes, I know people post their love things online. That's okay, but at the same time, don't use those good times you're showing to camouflage the reality, the negative reality that might be going on in your family. Just sort out the situation, look for a solution. Don't try to make us or make the people admire how beautiful your marriage is, but in real sense, you are almost being killed in that marriage. Or terrible things are going on there. Social media can bring hypocrisy at the same time in families, and things like that. Another thing is about using the phone in bed, using the phone in bed, so you've retired to bed, you've gone to sleep, but one person is, busy online, chatting, busy catching up with other people, and affecting your sleep time. That's number one. Another time affecting taking away the opportunity that you'll have had, maybe to get intimate or discuss some other things you want to discuss from the bedroom and things like that. I was talking to, we were discussing about he wanted, or he has already gotten a TV which is put in the bedroom. And well, it sounds cool and fancy, but I was telling my preference, not a law written anywhere, but my preference is that if possible, don't have that TV in the bedroom, because that will be a distraction. That's your the bedroom is kind of a sanctuary for the two of you. It's a sanctuary, and that's a place where you want to have all the time to look at each other and talk to each other, until you have no more words to talk and things like that. But if there's a TV, there's a laptop there, and the phone, the tablet, and all that, it takes a lot of discipline to control yourself, or to ignore all those gadgets in the bedroom. It takes a lot of, it's possible, it takes a lot of discipline. So why tempt yourself? If possible, have only one person to look at when you're in the bedroom together. And interact with. Yeah, so those are some of the things.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, that one brings us to this big question, especially for the couples. Do you know how dangerous it is if you start developing a habit of going with your phone and chatting on your, who is this group of people or an individual who is more important that you have to start chatting with on your matrimonial bed? This is one of the demons and devils we bring on our own relationship. Actually, that thing came into my mind this morning. The number of hours of time one might spend with a group of people or individuals, or even some time communicating with people at work, might be jeopardizing, bringing jeopardy within the best matrimonial moment in your bed. It becomes extremely important for each and every couple to come up with this decision. Bedtime is no time for social life, unless you have a group which is married to you, or individuals who are married to you, or a task married to you, and you have to give all your attention at the expense of your wife or your husband. We need to take care of ourselves, lest domestic safety compromise. Now, I know time is so much gone, and today also we had our psychotherapist around, and this is just second part of season 1, domestic safety. Before she speaks, there's something interesting I'd like to show you. I had it, and it made me to think we need a therapist, as much as I'm a therapist, to come on board, which also helps us. As she'll slightly talk today, we're going to have a whole episode whereby we're going to discuss these matters. This is an event which happened some times back, and there's a Muslim cleric who stood up to speak about it, and listen to what he said on this particular day.
Watu unacheka nao, unadhani wanakupenda, lakini wanakupenda kwa sababu wanamuona mama yako. Hata kama mama yako ni mzee, wanamuogopa kufanyia. Lakini ngoja mama yako afariki, hao wanaokupenda ndio watakuwa wa kwanza kudhulumu haki ya mama yako. Nitakuleta katika historia japo itatuliza, lakini tustahimili. Jamaa yangu mmoja alikuwa na mke. Bahati mbaya wamekaa miaka 14 hawajazaa. Mwanaume anataka mfukuze mwanamke kwa sababu hazai. Alipotaka kumfukuza akamwambia nakupa ofa ya mwaka mmoja, usipozaa na kufukuza. Na huyu mwanamke alikuwa ni mcha Mungu mno. Akawa anakuja kutuambia, mashehe nifanyieni dua, nimetoka na mume wangu mbali, tulikuwa tunalala chini, leo tuna manyumba, leo tuna magari, kweli nafukuzwa, nampenda mume wangu. Nikamwambia sisi hatuna uwezo wa kusaidia kupa mtoto isipokuwa Allah, uwezo huo anao. Tukafanya dua, mwaka ule ule Allah akamjalia akanasa ujauzito. Takbir. Kwa sababu ni mtu ana hamu, alikuwa muda wote anashika tumbo lake. Akikaa nasema, mwanangu tulia, baba yako mimba ile haikukawia, akafika mahala anatakiwa akajifungue. Siku anapata uchungu wa kwenda kujifungua, mume yuko kazini, inapigwa simu, mke wako amepatwa na machungu, akawaambia mpelekeni hospitali, tukutane hospitali, nampenda mke wangu. Hicho ndio kitu ambacho tulikisubiri kwa miaka 14. Na mwanamke alikuwa anasema, nina hamu ya kulea mtoto wa damu yangu, nimuone akilia, nimbembeleze, alale karibu yangu. Ndio yalikuwa maneno yake. Kuna wakati unaweza ukapanga kitu alafu ukakipata na usikitumii. Akapelekwa hospitali. Jamaa alipofika hospitali, daktari anamwambia mke wako yuko salama na yuko kwenye hatua za kujifungua, wewe rudi kazini, akijifungua tutakuita kama utakuwa na kazi. Akasema basi ngoja nirudi mtaniambia. Baada anapigiwa simu, njoo hospitali haraka, kuna tatizo limetokea. Mwanaume anaendesha gari kama mwenda wazimu. Alipofika kwa daktari, anaona macho ya daktari yameroana. Daktari analia na wale ndugu analia. Anamwambia daktari, niambie kuna nini? Anamwambia, ndugu yangu pole, mke wako amejifungua salama. Lakini katika kujifungua kwake, manake tulikuwa na watu wangapi? 2. Mmoja baada ya kujifungua, mmoja tumempoteza. Anamwambia, niambie nani amefariki? Akasema, mtoto amesalimika, mke wako amefariki. Mke wako amefariki, hajamuona hata mtoto. Mke wako amefariki baada ya kujifungua, kapata kifafa cha uzazi. Mke wako amefariki, hajambeba mtoto, wala mtoto hajanyonya ziwa lake. Mwanaume alilia sana, alilia mpaka anatetemeka. Watu wakamchukua, watu wakampeleka nyumbani. Baada ya mazishi akasema, mimi sitaoa mwanamke mwingine mpaka mwanangu afikishe miaka 5. Nikimuona huyu mwanangu namkumbuka mke wangu. Nikimuona mwanangu namkumbuka mke wangu. Naogopa kuoa, wanawake watakuja kumtesa mwanangu. Lakini ataishije? Baada ya miaka 5 akalazimika kuoa. Akamuoa mwanamke, lakini akamwambia, nimekuoa kweli nakupenda, lakini ukitaka nikupende zaidi mpende mwanangu. Huyu mwanangu ni sainsi ya mke wangu. Hizi mali zote unazoziona msababishaji ni mama yake na huyu. Ukitaka nikuchukie au nikuue, basi umtese mwanangu. Mwanamke akasema nitamlea. Kweli mwanamke akamlea, lakini ndani ya mwaka ule ule huyu mke wa pili akapata mimba. Baada ya muda akajifungua, wakawa ni watoto wawili. Ikapita miaka 4, huyu binti ambaye ni yatima akiwa na umri wa miaka 9, huyu wa kiume ambaye ni wa mke mdogo akawa na umri wa miaka 4. Watoto baba aliwatengenezea upendo, utafikiri ni baba mmoja, wakawa mmoja hawezi kula mpaka mwingine ale. Huyu mkubwa wa miaka 9 anampenda mdogo wake, na mdogo wake wa miaka 4 mwenye mama anampenda dada yake. Mapenzi akawa mpaka baba akafikia hatua ya kumwamini huyu mwanamke kwamba ni kweli amemlea mwanangu, akawa tena hana wasiwasi naye. Hapa mwanamke akaingiliwa na uibilisi, kama ambao uibilisi wanao wanawake wanaolea mayatima. Akasema, mbona mume wangu anampenda huyu mtoto ambaye hana mama? Inaonekana mume wangu akifa ghafla huyu mtoto atachukua mali zote. Kwa nini amemwandikisha huyu mtoto? Hapana, lazima nimuue huyu mtoto. Nikimuua huyu mtoto ndio salama yangu. Nikimuua kwa sumu watu watajua nitafungwa. Huyu nitamuua kwa mateso. Siku moja mvua ikiwa inanyesha, saa 3 usiku, mume akiwa amesafiri, lakini anarudi siku hiyo, yule mama akamchukua yule mtoto yatima akamweka uani. Watu, haya mambo ni hatari sana. Mimi nimewahi kuona mama mmoja anakula chakula na watoto yatima. Yani na mmoja katika wale yana watoto 4 wa kuzaa, 3 wa kuzaa, 4 ni yatima, wanakula chakula. Wakati yule yatima anakula chakula, mama anampapua tonge la ugali, anamwambia, subiri wanangu washibe na wewe ndio utakula. Yule mtoto yatima alipogeuza sura kuniona, akakimbia nyuma ya nyumba, kumbe ndio kuna kaburi la marehemu mama yake. Mtoto wa miaka 7 anapiga magoti kwenye kaburi la mama yake, analia, anasema, mama njoo unichukue, mama nateseka, mama. Tunamuuliza kuna nini? Anasema, mama mdogo ananilea vibaya, ananitesa. Usiku nyumbani hapa kuna joto, ikifika wakati wa kulala mama ananipa boksi niwapepee watoto wake mpaka walale, ndio mimi nilale. Huyu mama alichokifanya kilikuwa kitu kibaya. Siku hiyo alichokifanya, akamchukua huyu mtoto akamwambia, utakaa nje saa 3 usiku, mvua inanyesha. Tena kwenye upenu wa nyumba mvua inanyesha, akamwambia utakaa hapo. Akakaa, akafunga mlango, akaacha wazi mlango wa uani, ili mume wake akija asipiti uani, apitie barabarani. Mume alipokuja akaingia saa 5 usiku, mtoto ananyeshewa na mvua. Mtoto amekaa kwenye upenu wa nyumba, mtoto wa miaka 9. Ni kitu gani we mama anakula na kunyima? Akakaa kule, baba akaja akauliza, vipi watoto? Akasema wamelala. Baba hakutaka kufuatilia. Na hii nawaambieni nyinyi wanaume, kama una mke alafu una mtoto ambaye amefiwa na mama yake, usiwi unakubali kwa kuambiwa. Wakati mwingine fika uone. Baba kaambiwa mtoto amelala, kumbe mtoto hajalala, mtoto yuko nje. Baba akala chakula, akaingia ndani kulala. Saa 5, saa 6 mtoto yuko nje peke yake. Saa 7 baba amelala. Ukiona unaota ndoto usiwe unapuuzia. Kuna ndoto ambazo zinakuja na ujumbe wenye kusikitisha. Angalia kilichotokea. Baba wakati amelala akaota ndoto anamuota marehemu mke wake. Lakini marehemu mke wake amekuja kusimama na kisu mbele yake. Anamwambia, mwanangu yuko wapi? Baba akashtuka. Aliposhtuka akamwamsha mke wake, akamwambia, mke wangu nimemuota marehemu mke wangu. Mke yule ibilisi maluni akamkumbatia, akamwambia, mume wangu huenda jana umemwaza sana, watoto wako salama, lala. Baba akarudi kulala. Imepita dakika 40, ndoto ikarudi. Mama anakuja anamwambia, mwanangu yuko wapi? Baba akashtuka, akamwambia, mke wangu, mbona na mke wangu ananitokea sana kwenye usingizi? Akamwambia, mume wangu, hivi mimi kweli naweza nimemlea miaka mingapi hivi mimi kweli, hivi mimi kweli, hivi mimi kweli. Baba yale maneno akalala tena saa 9. Ndoto anaota mwanamume amusha, anamwambia marehemu kaka, anamwambia mume wangu nimekuja mara 2 kukukumbusha mtoto wetu umekataa. Basi nimemuomba Mungu amchukue mwanangu amlete niliko. Lakini kwenye ndoto baba akakurupuka usingizi, haiwezekani ndoto ije mara 3. Akaenda chumba cha watoto, subhanallah, hakumkuta mtoto wake. Tulimsahau nje jana. Baba akaparamia milango kufungua, labda atamuona. Anafungua mlango, wallahi anakutana na mtoto amelala, amekwisha kauka, amekufa muda mrefu. Amina Rabi, amina. Amina Rabbina, dua nitakabalia. Amina tena amina, dua ninawaombea. Uyatima ni hatari, uyatima ni msiba, uyatima ni mateso, uyatima mtihani. Jamani mimi nateswa na mama yangu wa kambo. Mama wa kambo si mama, jamani ananitesa. Makofi ananipiga, njaa ananishindisha, na njaa ananilaza, maji ananimwagia, na tanga na njia huku nikiomba Waislamu kufiwa baba na mama, mateso mengi dunia. Mtume alimkuta yule mtoto yatima, sababu gani waliapa njiani huruma. Leo siku ya furaha kwa jamaa isibu, kadiri unavolia uchungu unanipata. Yatima akamjibu sina baba duniani.
Heard them sing, he paid the price and Jesus bore it all. I've heard them sing, I'm coming home, and heed the master's call. I've heard them sing the modern songs and songs of long ago. But amazing grace, so sweet the sound, is the sweetest song I know. Amazing grace, so sweet the sound, oh how sweet is the sound. No sweeter song in this life could be found. Heard about the Savior's blood, washed as white as snow. But amazing grace, so sweet the sound, is the sweetest song I know.
Yeah, such a sad story. Our homes safe? That's the big question. Today, Anne was prepared to share with us. In our 3rd episode of season 1, we'll be picking from this point. Can it be possible in our homes we have children, men and women, who have verbally been destroyed and been damaged, even to the point of us losing some of the family? And you may not have much time to talk, but just a comment, and we are going to start at 3 in season 1 from that point. Just a word, please.
Thank you so much, Colin. But that video has made me reflect on so many things. And truth is,
unfortunately, we've grown up in environments and homes where we are verbally abused, emotionally, physically abused, and it affects our growing up, the way we relate with people, the way we do things, our perspective about situations and even other people. So yes, unfortunately, this is a reality that is there, and it's important that we are become aware of the danger that is affecting on us in our growing up, so that we can be able to avoid that. So yeah.
Yeah. Actually, in next Friday, we'll be having Dr. Jason Musyoka coming live, even to speak about his journey of success. Then the Friday after that, we'll be back and we'll be starting from there. There are people who are suffering in our homes. Orphans are suffering. Some relatives are passing through a lot in their home. And I believe at that time, though time is not on our side today, we are past 27 minutes past our usual time. We are going to get what are some of our emotional, psychological response to such kind of things when they happen to us in our own homes. Where should be the safest place for us? Please, if you have not subscribed to our channel, go and subscribe. Rebuilding Family Foundation. That's our YouTube channel or our Facebook page, Rebuilding Family Foundation Academy. You can also subscribe to, there are a lot of good teachings in this YouTube page. Also, you can go to YouTube page, CTCC Kenya, and you can find a lot of good information which can help you. Thank you very much for joining us today. I know some of the friends to Anne have been waiting for her to speak so much. Her time is coming. Don't worry, speak, and you're going to enjoy a moment with her. Meanwhile, thank you for being with us. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for joining us, even at this particular point. I'd like to appreciate all the people who are live together with us, including Celeste Bolo, Moses Bolo, Ann Bolo, and Brian Bolo. The Bolos are out to make sure that they become a blessing for each and every individual. Stay tuned, even as we continue to learn more and more in other coming episodes. God bless you. Good night, and let's connect together once more as time is going to come up for us. God bless you.
My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but wholly lean on Jesus' name. On Christ the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. On Christ the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. When darkness fails his lonely face, I rest on his unchanging grace. In every high and stormy gale, my anchor holds within the veil. On Christ the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. On Christ the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand.
When they shall come with trumpet sound, oh, may I then and him be found dressed in his righteousness alone, faultless to stand before the throne.
Oh, Christ the solid rock, I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. Oh, Christ has solid rock, I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand.